Good morning, Rick, and welcome to Business Spotlight Interview.
Good morning, Colin. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm really looking forward to the interview. So to get started, maybe Rick, just give us a bit of background on yourself, your company, how long you've been in business, etc.
Well, I'm Rick Haney. I'm CEO of Fogo Solutions. We started in 2010, so we're in our 13th year of business and reaching that threshold where we're starting to grow. My background is I've been an entrepreneur, either working for one of my dad's companies or one of my own, really since about 4 years out of college. So I graduated from Georgia Tech in '93, and I think I started my first business in '98. And have been failing gracefully ever since.
Yeah, that's kind of the typical history of a lot of entrepreneurs, but that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to this interview because you sound like a true entrepreneur who's tried, and some things worked, some things didn't, but you're still at it and growing. That's fantastic. Yes, so you're CEO for Fogo Solutions. So maybe a little bit about Fogo. What is Fogo?
Yeah, Fogo Solutions is a full technology service provider. We are basically a business partner in all things that are not their course of business. So if it touches their network, we will work on it or manage it for them. So when it comes to business communication lines, phones, internet, their devices that they're working on, hosting their applications. So Fogo, we own and operate our own data centers. So we have our own cloud. And so this puts us in really a very small pool of people that work in our industry that do cloud services, have a data center, as well as do full service IT. And so we will do managed service. We have a large help desk. So we do some things for many customers, and we have a product called Complete that we do for several customers, which is really technology as a service. So we provide their hardware, host their software. They can have virtual computers, virtual desktops in our cloud. And it is really nice for growing businesses because they can look at an employee and say, okay, I've got my annual cost of this employee, and then for another, let's just say $300 a month, we provide their phone, 2 monitors, desktop, virtual desktop in the cloud, and then all of their business lines are in our cloud service.
Excellent. So it sounds like you've got a kind of a sort of full service suite of offerings, and you also have kind of a niche market as well. You know, like you said, relative to your cloud hosting, which is excellent.
Yeah, we've kind of morphed into that. We started out as a co-location data center, and then we started doing cloud offering in our data center. And what we found, we really focused on high compliance verticals like legal and healthcare. And what we found from our clients is they really, as IT has become more complex and there's more items and cybersecurity has become a bigger concern, we really saw that our clients wanted one place to call to solve their problem. And so it was a natural course to just expand our service offering to cover really the bookends of any sort of technology that you might have. Excellent.
It makes total sense. So in the kickoff, you mentioned some challenges along your journey to this point, some big areas and maybe even failures. So if we flip that from your perspective now, been at this for quite a while, what's your definition of success, or who comes to mind when you think of success?
You know, the first person that comes to mind when I think of success is definitely my father. What I saw is he made it look easy, and it was extremely hard. He was a business professor at the University of West Georgia back in the '70s, and started a trailer park. Literally laid the pipe himself and put in the roads and everything back when you could do all that without special permits and stuff. He then worked out a deal and owned our local Ford dealership. Grew the Ford dealership, had it for 30 years. We then, when I graduated from college, did some development stuff. We started a golf course development and community here in town. And so I at that point thought this is easy, and he didn't really show the struggles of day-to-day entrepreneurship, and so he made it always look easy. He was a fine dad, just a really, really good person. Airplane enthusiast, so he had several airplanes that he kept up, and just he was always able to do a nice balance between work and home, and we went on nice vacations, and it was just, he was really the picture of the success I wanted to be, and I actually always wanted to outdo him. So, you know, I I wanted to do, if I could do better than my father, I would say that would be the definition of business successful. And of course, in the home, you want to have a great home, great children, great wife, and I've been extremely successful on that side.
What a great answer, and a great kind of legacy and example that he's left for you, right?
I'm very, very fortunate to have grown up in an entrepreneurial family, and have leadership in that really I didn't appreciate until probably well in my 30s.
Yeah, it's a testament to him, because you know now as your own entrepreneur how difficult that journey is,
Yes.
and how easy it is to bring all that home, right? So he used that journey to really provide for his family and provide the prosperity that he was able to give you, but he insulated you from all the loneliness and struggles and stresses of life, of work, which is awesome.
He really did, and I would say that that's one thing I've been trying to work better on, because I wear my feelings in my body, regardless of what's coming out of my mouth.
So this next question is perfect for you, because you've been at this a long time, and like we've talked about, some success, some failures, but that's all part of growth and part of the process. So what do you think's been some of the biggest learnings that you had as a business owner?
So the very top one is have enough capital or capital resources for all contingencies. So many businesses start out and fail simply because they had to run a perfect game in order to succeed with the cash they had on hand. And one thing I have learned from having several businesses is they don't run great right out of the start, and you're going to have some failures. You're going to have some, you know, if you have human capital, you're going to have people that didn't really live up to what you were hoping, didn't have the skill set that might have been presented. And so these things in business world eventually just cost dollars and cents, because time costs money, and to retrain, to retool, or redirect your business. And that's one of the things you always have to be mindful of. Is there a market for your product? And is that market large enough to provide a living for the people you need to employ to provide that product? And so I have had some half-cocked starts in my life where I jumped in with 2 feet and, you know, nearly drowned. And I've been very fortunate to never bankrupted, but I certainly have been at the door going, I might go to the other side if I don't figure things out very quickly.
Yeah, that's well said. I mean, you know, we here at Action Coach, we definitely believe in taking action, but at the same time, you need a business risk management plan that does take in the highs and medium low risks relative to, and having those contingencies in place in order to protect yourself and insulate the business from failure. So
Yeah.
Well said. Well said. So I think you said 2010 started. Was that right?
Yes, sir. I think we incorporated the LLC in 2009 and began construction on the building, but opened for business in 2010.
All right. So 13 years. So project yourself out 5 years. What's the aspirations for Fogo Solutions in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so we're in a growth stage right now, and when looking at that question, I was like, well, how far do I really want to take it in the next 5 years? And I think I want to be the best technology service provider in the Southeast in the next 5 years. We are a national company and certainly have national customers, but going back to that previous answer of we are human capital heavy in this industry. And without moving people and their families, everywhere on the planet. I think the Southeast is probably a reasonable goal, assuming we don't take on VC capital and go with mergers and acquisitions.
Okay, yeah, that sounds. I mean, I like, first of all, I like the word best. I love that. So you're aspiring to be number one, whether that's, they can define that.
Yeah, we've built our business off of customer service, and in this industry, in IT, that is not a natural phenomenon. We have to train a lot for our people to really give that human response and let the people on the other end of the phone know that we care and we're here to solve their issues. And so we train to be basically a 5-star white glove service hotel in the IT industry.
That's fantastic. I can speak from personal experience pretty deeply on the opposite of that in the IT world. I've had plenty of IT companies who have not been that, so I can appreciate what that means to the end user, because you're right, they just want an answer, but the answer might not always be in your script of what.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so we train for customer service first, and then we've got plenty of resources. I think because we started as a data center, I had to have the best of the best to do cloud services and the security, the networking that is required in a data center. So when we entered the MSP world of just customer service and PC management and on-site networks, I have some extremely talented people here. So we have a great bookends for if we could train our people that answer the phone real well, they do have somebody right behind them who can solve almost any problem, and we can do it quickly. So it's really yielded us a great model for going down market into the customer service end and the MSP services.
Like it. Can I ask you roughly how many full-time employees do you have working underneath?
We're in the mid 40s. I think we're still under the 50 mark. They just hired 4 more people. I'm not sure where that puts us. But somewhere between 40 and 50, I believe, right now.
All right. So what's been your, and I don't know if those are all located there in Carrollton. For the listeners, Carrollton is a.
No, so we have 3 offices. We have a Tampa office, a Carrollton office, and a New Orleans office. So most of our marketing team, and then we have some techs, because we have one more data center in our New Orleans office, are down there. The majority of our service desk people and our cloud and our primary data centers here in Carrollton. And then we have a very small office in Tampa we're growing over the next 2 years.
Okay, excellent. I mean, that's a pretty expansive footprint. So maybe some comments from you, Rick, on your experience on talent acquisition, and you can frame that any way you want,
it's talent acquisition in this industry is tough because resumes don't hardly mean anything. There's a lot of folks that have really good resumes on IT training that when it comes to problem solving, don't have the skill set and the logical skill set to take a problem from beginning to end. So what we've done to try to curtail some of that, some of those problems is we now have added a logical test to our onboarding. And so during our interview process, you will take problem solving test. And that's probably more important than actual pure IT knowledge, is the ability to think through a beginning to end of a problem, because all IT is data going somewhere. It starts at some point, goes through several items, programs, devices, and spits out, comes out at an end to a printer, to a user, what have you. And so thinking logically, where did it get stuck? Where did those packets of data quit going forward in the process is of key importance.
Yeah, it makes sense. Having back again, you said you had a phrase early on about being heavily, human capital intensive, right? So it's all about hiring the right people in your industry. I mean, period, right? So
yeah, you generally think of the cloud as a bunch of computers and everything, and so yes, there's a lot of hardware that provides the service, but keeping it running and keeping a billion things running together to produce like a light switch is our motto around here. We want IT to work like a light switch. Well, that's very, very hard to do because there may be a million items working together to create that light coming on.
Yeah, but that's a great analogy. So for the end user, it's just simple. It's black and white. It's binary, right? It's just
yeah. Our goal is for it to be like a light switch. You don't have to think about IT because it just works. And so that is a tough goal for us to achieve, but we try to use best of breed items and services to conquer that.
Perfect. So because I own a business coaching firm, this is always my favorite question, but can you give me an example of who you think has been your best coach in life and why? It doesn't have to be business. It can be any way.
Yeah. So there's not a one answer to this. Of course, I mentioned my father earlier. I'm amazed at how much I've picked up through my whole life watching him. I don't know that it came as much in dialogue as just I'll come into a problem and I'll remember how he handled a similar one. But I have been fortunate enough to, in my business 10 years of having several businesses, partner up with some great people that have offered different items that augmented some of my weakest points. I'm not a great people manager. I'm more of a visionary, more of a idea guy of where we're going and where I see the market going. And but as far as day-to-day task orientation, I'm not the best on the planet. And so I can mention a few names. Jamie Ziegler, one of our partners now, who is a partner with me in another company, and I recruited back. That's why we have a marketing firm. He had started a marketing firm after we sold our last business. And to take Fogo where I really needed him and his ability to move people and to be task oriented and to create goals and ways to achieve them. I would also mention Sean Hogg. He's our current CTO, and I actually got him from a company that we were going to merge with, and it didn't work out, but I did get him. And he's one of the best process guys I've ever seen in my life. And so in our industry, because we're high compliance and we're SOC 2, Type 2, SOC 3 certified, these things require an enormous amount of processes and somebody who can build an efficient machine. And he is unbelievable at that. I certainly don't want to short out my wife on this. My wife is she's a judge now, but she's an attorney by trade. Extremely smart woman, and in every business that I've been in since we were married, she's coached me up. She's helped me with various issues and given me lots to think about as far as problem solving and moving in that next step. I will also mention in my early days, a man named Richard Morris. He was the general manager of the Ford dealership that I worked for. And while I didn't appreciate him at the time, his methodical management, he was there every day. He led by example. He had a very calm, even-keeled demeanor, no matter what the circumstances were. And I learned later on in life how important those assets were to leading and growing a business. And I also want to mention my brother on this. So he actually, after we sold the dealership, worked for a IT company. Well, not an IT. They're professional services for the dealership industry. And he really showed us as far as their sales organization, how they did it, and gave us some really, really good insight on how to go to that next level as far as sales and farming sales and prospecting and everything.
I would summarize that by saying that coaching comes in many forms, shapes, and sizes, right? Some direct,
yes.
some indirect, but the key thing is to be listening and observing, right? Which you've done well, it sounds like, over your life, which is fantastic.
I don't know that I learned to do it better.
Especially with your wife. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Time machine time. So we're going to cast yourself back to your 18-year-old self, Rick. I think you're a bit closer to that than I am, probably, but
No, I don't know.
we're probably similar ages. So cast yourself back. You can go back to your 18-year-old self and give yourself a piece of advice for whatever reason to change your course, etc. What would you tell yourself?
The biggest thing I would tell myself is, one, be humble, and two, listen more, talk less. I think I was a gifted child as far as academically, and went to Georgia Tech, graduated from Georgia Tech, and really came out, for lack of a better word, somewhat arrogant. Came back to the dealership, and I had a bigger education, and I thought I knew everything. And as it turns out, in real life, I knew absolutely nothing. And
I can relate to that so much.
If I could have told myself to listen, and don't talk unless spoken to, I probably could have saved myself several years of heartache.
I can totally relate to that comment. And for all your listeners out there that maybe are that sub 30 age, whether that resonates, listen well. That was really good advice. It may not feel like it, but it is good advice.
Yeah, whether you think so or not, lots of people you're talking to have a lot more wisdom than you do. So take it all in and at least give it the time of day.
Yeah, excellent. I love that. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, I appreciate all that insights. It's a great interview. I'm going to give you a chance, Rick, kind of to give the audience a chance to know more about how to contact you, any offers you have, any newsletters, websites, etc. Just give them all the tools they need to get in touch with you and to learn more.
Sure. Our website is fogosolutions.com. If you would like to reach me personally, I'm Haney, RHANEY at fogosolutions.com. As far as sales, if you'll reach Camry S, that's Camry like the car, S, at fogosolutions.com. And you can also, if you're interested in our marketing products or sales products, you can go with sales or marketing at fogosolutions.com.
Perfect. Well, Rick, it's been an excellent pleasure. I always like to listen to sage people who have been in the entrepreneur business for a long time, because insights are so valuable. So thank you for your time, your insights, and all the best to you.
Thank you.